This time, I'm going to show you what is going on in the Administration tab. So I'm in the Teachers side again, Ms. Kaminsky, and I'm going to come up here and click on Admin. And like I said in a previous video, this is really the heart of the program. And this is where you make the big changes, you see your reports, you see your students' work. So we're just going to click here on User Administration. This first one's pretty simple. It's help you find a user. You click in any student's name, and you can search for them that way. You will not be creating new classes. The district has uploaded all of your classes, so you don't need to worry about that. If you want to edit class information, this is where you can change the names of your classes, and I'm going to show you that in another briefer video, so it's separate so people can go just to that. This is also where you can edit student or teacher information. If I want to go to the Biology 2 class, I will see a list here of everything that the students have access to basically. And so what you're seeing here is this is the Achieves username for the students. They won't use this. They use their Schoology login, so don't really worry about what that looks like. You have your names here. The supervised student work time, if you look on the fast fact sheet, it tells you that Achieve 3000 requires us to have school supervised hours. So we go from 8 to 4. This will probably change once night school gets started, but for right now, we're looking at 8 to 4 p.m. This is the time frame where the work done in Achieve 3000 counts towards the Lexile score. A student cannot log on after 4 o'clock, and the reason that they do this is so that a student doesn't get outside help to increase his Lexile score when it's not really him doing so. Students can email peer-to-peer. This is where your options are. Everything here is already defaulted. This is where you add audio support. If you want vocabulary audio support where it reads just the vocabulary words to them, you have the option of doing audio support for just the stretch side of things, which some students need. You could do both. You could do no audio support at all, or you can do full audio support. And I do caution you about full audio support. I do not recommend it because they will not have that option on the final exam. Most students will not have that. And so it's detrimental to provide students with a crutch that is just going to be jerked away from them during exam time. So I would leave it on vocabulary audio support or possibly the vocabulary stretch audio support. That choice is up to you. The highlight toolbar will always stay checked. This is where you add in scaffolds if a student needs it. The language scaffold will probably be the most popular. You can change that. And if you change the language, then you can come over here to a full Spanish version, which I recommend only for Spanish teachers. Haitian Creole support, I don't think we'll be needing that. But English with Spanish support is probably a very popular one as well. What happens with that? If you provide English with Spanish support to any of your students, they will see a mixture. The poll questions, the before and after poll questions will be in Spanish so that the student can get an idea of what the article is going to be about. The article itself will be in English with the mixed support here. It will be written on the student's Lexile level that they need, but it will be in English. The activity will be in English. And that just makes sense because we want our ELL learners, our ELL students rather, to make strides in English. We don't really need them to work on their Spanish. However, in a Spanish class, Miss Best or Miss Estrada might want to have the full Spanish so that students are reading in Spanish and they actually can administer a Spanish level set as well. So there's that. You can click on an individual student here. I'm going to look at Jemiah. Again, do not pay attention to this right here. This is what Achieve gives our students for a login and password. They will not use that. But we can see here that she is a grade 12. Her math is a grade 12. This is her Lexile level. She is not assigned to any scaffolds, but if I wanted to, I could click it here as well. She has vocabulary audio support, and this is where the student can go in and enter more information. And we may actually have teachers go in and do this with their students so that we can pull data according to race and gender, ELL status, free and reduced lunch status. So stay tuned. We might have you going in and helping your students fill this part out. So if you made any changes, you would come down here and you would click submit. So we are going to go back to the main menu here. If you get new students in your class, please do not click on add users to my class, because Achieve 3000 works just like Schoology in that it updates every single night. So new students will eventually be added on their own. Students who transfer here from within the district will already be in Achieve 3000. You might just have to find them and add them to your class. But we do not want to add users at all, not brand new users. Nor do we want to remove users. If you come across students in your class that you no longer teach, let me know. I'll go in and remove them. There's just some dangers here and we don't want to mess anything up. You can print a class list, but if you do that, it really doesn't show you very much that you can use. It just shows you what Achieve has assigned them for a login and password. It doesn't really help us very much at all. And that's pretty much what you will find under the user administration. If you come down here to student work, you can look at what work you've assigned your students. You can look at certain things. If you have assigned a thought question that you want to grade and look just at that, you can pull up thought questions. If you have assigned math problems, you can look at just that, the activities, the units themselves. If you have done any writing things with them, you can pretty much look at any of their work right here. Under usage programs, you can see which of my students are using this program. That is a helpful report to look at, so we're going to look at it. All programs is fine. You want to pull one of your classes in particular. So let's just go here. All users, all languages. You want to make sure the dates are good. I usually decide to date it a few days out just to be safe. You want to look at work completed in my class only. You could look at all the classes, but that would be a lot. You want to look at stuff done on their Lexile level. You can summarize them by class. If you came up here and picked all classes, you could look at all students individually, and you don't want to limit the report. So what comes up here is we see that some students have never logged in, and we see some students are logging in, and it shows us the dates. It shows us that, for example, Robert has logged in once on 10/19, but Ashley Wright logged in just the other day on 10/27. So there's a couple other things you can gather from looking at this kind of report. This is where your class list of Lexiles will be. And it also gives you whether or not students are on the path to being college and career ready. You can see here that usually that is associated with a pretty high Lexile level. And so this is a pretty useful report to look at. And then you have your key down here if you need help with that. Okay, let's go back out. How are my students spending their time? You can look and see if they are actually doing anything as opposed to just being logged on. Let's go back to that same class. Let's date it a few days out, and let's view the report. So we can see here that, just for example, we are looking at Matthew Arnst again. He has logged in 4 times. His first login was 10/2 and his last one was 10/19. He has spent 57 minutes in this program, and all of his time has been spent doing other things, which could just be messing around. It could just be anything really whatsoever. And once our students really start using this, you will see that maybe he has sent 5 emails. He has spent 20 minutes working on the activity. He has spent 45 minutes on a thought question. So this just kind of shows you, it breaks down the student usage. Go back to the reports. And then you can kind of just look at these on your own over other times. Performance reports. How likely are they to be on track for college and career? How are they likely to perform? You can look at those on your own. And then the assessment tools, which students have not taken it, which students have invalid level set. You can look at the invalid level set, but you really won't do anything with it. I've pretty much already taken care of these kids. If, however, you look at this and you see some students on here that you worry about, you can let me know and we'll go from there. And that's pretty much it under the administration side of things. The user administration is where you really get into the nuts and bolts, and then you have your reports as well. And I'll be back soon with another video.